Hello you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is a sensitive one. You saw the title, so if that's something that you're not comfortable with, please click off of my video. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk. So if you are an American or a US citizen, or not a citizen, or just residing in the US, you know that the 2024 presidential election has been taking place over the last couple of months. I think it all started when Joe Biden declared that he was not running for office anymore. This caused some issues. I think because people felt like with a new candidate, it was unlikely that Kamala was going to win, and that's why they garnished even more support from celebrities and, you know, well-known people in the media and entertainment industry for their campaign. Anyway, all that being said, we are not going to dive too deep into political topics. I wanted to make this video to address relationships and how they're affected by politics. So in my own personal world, I have friends with differing beliefs than me, right? As I'm sure we all do. These are beliefs that I knew were different than mine when we became friends. It was abundantly clear by things that were said, you know, things that were done, remarks that were made, comments that were made by certain friends, and things that, you know, they would post on their social media pages, all that great stuff. And it was never an issue to me. I believe that, you know, you can have a different political opinion as somebody else and you guys can still get along. Now I know that is probably a very naive thing to say since politics is such a very touchy subject, but I, you know, me personally, I'm not going to unfriend someone over their political beliefs. But yeah, so I'm saying all this to say that come yesterday, good old election day, I made a post on Instagram, as I'm sure many of you guys did as well. And it wasn't really regarding the election. Now since then I have made a couple posts regarding the election, but the post at the time was not related. So said post that I'm referring to, I'll just tell you guys, was so I use Duolingo, right, to brush up on my French. If you don't know, I took 4 years of French in high school, and I love it. I love the language. I love everything about it. I hope to visit Paris someday. So yeah, I want to keep my French fresh in my mind and all that good stuff. So I practice almost every day. Unless I miss a day, then you know how it goes. But yeah, so I logged on to Duolingo the day before yesterday, and to my surprise, Duolingo was saying, don't forget to vote. And if you guys know how many of those things I've seen, I was like, really? They've got Duo saying this to us. Can I just practice my French in peace? So I take a screenshot of what Duo said, and I posted on my story saying, shaking my head with this palm face emoji in the forehead. Now everything was fine. Everything was fine. I went to work as usual, and everything was dandy. Everything was great. I didn't have any problems with my story. I get off work, I drive to Target around the corner, and I start doing my shopping. I pick up my tortillas, my brownie mix, my pie crust, all that kind of stuff. By the way, it was pretty hard to find the pie crust. I didn't realize it was in like the refrigerated section, which duh, I should have known that. because I was making a quiche last night, which turned out amazing, by the way. Anyway, I feel a buzz on my phone, and I pick it up and I look down at it, and it's one of my friends. Now I'm putting it in quotation marks because that is where I stand, clearly. Replying back to my Duolingo story, and she basically was saying, what do you mean by shaking my head? And I was like, oh, well, I just basically mean, you know, I've seen these go vote posts everywhere, all this stuff, as I'm sure we all have. And she asked me, did you vote? And I will be open and transparent with you guys. If you'd like to unsubscribe, go for it. But I candidly replied, no, I did not vote. And she went off on a tirade to me about how I don't care about the country. This is my friend, mind you, in a very non-loving way. She's said these things, and she went on about how I do not care about the country, how I do not care about a grapist leading our country, which if I did have to vote, it would probably, well, not probably, it would definitely be on the Republican side of things. But and about how she went on about how he was siphoning our reproductive rights and how Kamala was the best option to combat this. Now, I simply replied that while I hear what she's saying, I'm still choosing not to vote because that is my personal choice. She then replied saying, oh no, I'm sorry. And then I said, but you can definitely, you know, cast your ballot, make your own choice as to who you want to vote for, all of that great stuff. You know, it's called autonomy, the ability to make your own decisions. After that, I was kindly unfollowed and removed from their page. And then I get a message from one of my other friends saying that, you know, do I know what happened? Like, what's wrong? And I simply just reply, like, what do you mean what's wrong? Like, what, you know? And she's like, well, I heard what happened. And I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, like I got unfollowed. I don't know what the issue was. I just, you know, this person swiped up on my story and decided to reply. And so I guess she didn't like what I had to say and she unfollowed me. Anyway, so this friend was like, are we still okay? Like, are we still good? All this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like, why wouldn't we be good? Like, that's just, you know, one person. But keep in mind, you guys, in the back of my mind, these friends, it's actually like a group of three friends. And this has a little bit of backstory, which I feel like these kinds of stories always do, which I'm not going to get totally into, but I will bring up a little bit just for the sake of this video. So basically, I would drive out to LA maybe once a month to hang out with him. And it was like an hour from me, an hour from where I stay. So on Halloween, well, not on Halloween, but the weekend before Halloween, which is when everyone was celebrating it, by the way, which is kind of interesting. It's whatever, I don't really celebrate Halloween anyway. And I was invited by one of the girls in the group to go to a Halloween party. I woke up on Saturday, I decided I don't really want to go anymore. Granted, I didn't tell her I wasn't coming, but I didn't go. So I get a message from the same person that asked me what was wrong that time, and she was like, oh, like, you didn't go, you know, that's not cool, you should have told her, which I definitely should have told her. I owned up to my mistake. And after that, from the group chat we were in, it was just radio silence. And I was like, they made another group chat and just left me out of it. Like, okay, these are my friends. Anyway, so I I exit myself from that group chat because, you know, to save myself the drama, all this stuff. And we just don't talk up again until one of the girls texts me about my post about the election. So then I get the same girl asking me what's wrong, and she's like, well, we can still be friends, can't we? And I'm like, we can, but I do not trust that you are not going to screenshot messages or screenshot pictures of my messages to you and send them in your group chat. So for that reason, I don't really feel comfortable staying friends, all the stuff. She said, okay, fine, you know, whatever, I get it. So that was that. Then I noticed, and nobody's saying anything to me directly, but I noticed a couple people unfollowed me after, you know, that post that I made and another post that I made. And, you know, it just really shocked me, which I don't think it should have. Like, I think that should have been expected. Oh, there's something else I'm forgetting to mention to you guys completely. I'm so sorry. It was a story about my best friend, actually. My best friend, after the whole incident with the other girl happened, you know, I called her, and I know, and I knew this when we became friends, that she's very liberal. She's very democratic. She's very on that spectrum of the political bar or whatever. So, but we still get along regardless, you know, or we did at least. So guys, I really, like I'm saying, I didn't know how charged this was and how sensitive of a subject it is. And maybe that's me sounding ignorant, because I will be completely honest, I'm not super educated on these matters. And if you are, feel free to educate me in the comments. You know, I'm not gonna be upset or anything like that. Like, please, like, educate me. Everyone has their own voice, everyone has their own opinion, and we don't need to attack other people for stating their opinions on certain things. That's insanity. You know, the freedom of speech we fought so hard for should not be siphoned by people that have differing political beliefs. But yeah, so I call my best friend after the incident with my other friend that happened, and I just wanted to talk about it and kind of get her viewpoint on it. So I call her, she picks up, and I start to tell her what's going on, and she stops me like 2 minutes into it, and she's like, yeah, I gotta go, like, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, this is weird, like, we talk all the time, like, you call me about things you want to talk about, and I listen to you and all these things, right? But she's like, yeah, I'll call you back when I'm done eating my dinner, whatever. Like, okay, so you just happen to be eating your dinner at this time. Very coincidental. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, it was a little bit annoying, but I just let it go. And then she calls me maybe an hour and a half later, and I continue to tell her what's going on. I didn't really want to pick up when she called me back, because I'm like, well, you didn't have time to talk to me the first time, but okay, I'll pick up your call. And I tell her what's going on, and when I'm finished, it's radio silence. She has nothing to say about it, you guys. And I probably should have anticipated that. But, you know, still, it's like, wow, like, okay, I really see, you know, what's going on here and everything. And so, you know, she just tried to change the subject, which probably is the smartest thing to do in this case. But I'm like, okay, my best friend, like, she doesn't want to talk about kind of why I was a little bit upset, or why I was a little bit, like, charged, you know? And so we let it go. I get ready for bed, I go to sleep. I wake up at around 2 a.m. I check the polls, I see that Donald Trump has won the presidency. I'm not going to say that I was not excited about that outcome, because I definitely was, I still am. And I made that known on Instagram. After I make that known, I get a message from my best friend, saying I can't believe you support him. I can't believe this and that, you know, plan 2025, all these things. And it's just, it's like, sorry, I was yawning, so now my eyes are, you know, like this. But it's just like, this is my best friend, and I know what she politically believes, and I've never come at her for those beliefs, because I understand that she has her reasons. She has her, you know, her reasons why she believes what she believes. So I would never bash her or come at her or anything, but she replied to, I think, like those little notes that they added on Instagram, and she basically was just going in about how she can't believe, you know, I would support someone who did this and who did that and believes this and that. And, you know, I don't know, you guys, like, I just want to make this video. And, you know, she's still following me. She don't unfollow me. I think our friendship is bigger than that, hopefully. Excuse me. And I think that with time, it will all die down. Even if it's a month, 2 months, you know, anything like that. I think that we will definitely be okay. But even if we're not, I want to say there is nothing wrong with standing up for what you believe in. Having an opinion. There's nothing inherently wrong with having an opinion, as long as you're like respectful about it. You don't bash other people, and you understand that everybody else has their own opinions, that your opinion is not the only right one out there. And that's something that I wish more people understood, and that while I know everybody has their own beliefs, that I really don't like the fact that they tend to come in between relationships, family members, friends, you know, co-workers, romantic relationships, you know, because at the end of the day, we do all live in the same country, and no matter who wins, you still have to live with these people, work with these people, talk to these people. And to ruin those relationships over something like that, it just is, to me, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. And yeah, I just wanted to make this video to say that, you know, if you were considering maybe saying something not so nice to someone close to you about the outcome of the election or anything like that, like, just think twice and think, you know, is this something that needs to be said? Is this something that will help the other person? Is this something that will change their mind? You know, like, all of these things should be running through your head before you say something. And that's all I have to say about the subject, but I definitely wanted to make a video because that is my own personal experience and my own personal world, and I know I'm not the only one who this has probably happened to. And if you can relate, I just, you know, want you to know you're not the only one. And if you want to leave a comment telling me about your experience or whether or not you agree or disagree with me, that's completely fine too. This platform is open for anyone to make a comment. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, you know, don't watch the next one, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.